How? I genuinely don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. How is it hanging?
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
Yeah, you
What about
prick.
privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state.
Yeah, I'd rather stay unmolested
Besides,
too, if
I
possible.
believe you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
What is it?
Off one of the beast's
Oh,
victims.
the hand,
found
okay.
by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
Ugh. What is he doing?
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Hold on, guys. And I am back. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to go do a thing. So, can't you just summon Dettlaff? I mean, that's an
Can't you
obvious
just
no.
summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires. There's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Understood.
Last resort? The hell?
We found him
Why?
once before. Like, this isn't that big of an issue.
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten
Something
lava.
tells me we're
An
gonna do it.
exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Okay, well, tell me about this ring.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
I really like higher vampires. They're really interesting. Now, what do you want to use the hand for?
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name. Resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Well, let's go ahead and brew it then. We haven't really got any other choice.
Spent half his life proving his theory.
We do, but it's not a good one.
Guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also.
That's what we're going for, I imagine.
To extinction over
We've already met one.
ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
How's a kobold?
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Oh, I don't like that. Why are we... Oh, no. Not good. I want to know what a kobold is. In the expansions, he's just mentioning loads of different species that we've never ran into.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned. Him and his brethren.
I wish I
Perhaps
had a
they'll find them
vampire
in the
friend,
area,
like
and
always
I
around.
hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless. So, perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
You sort of freak me out, but I also really like you, so let's drink.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
Got a lot of secrets.
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask indirectly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular
Oh,
interesting?
do I actually get to choose? What's regeneration like?
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Dettlaff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard.
Maybe it's better that way. In a lot of
We
ways.
vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
I'd love to see a vampire war. But how are you handling abstinence then? Not drinking blood? How do they
Got a
live
new
then?
life, new body. That'd give you a new start, blank slate.
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt.
I'm so excited to
Curiosity's
read the
a
Witcher
natural
books.
reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
What's it like being dead?
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for
well, I
death,
imagine that's
I might have
purgatory for
drowned in an
vampires,
eternity
since
of icy
you're not
terror.
fully dead, you're just... You know, you can be brought back.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh. Experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the
No one
blink
lives
of
to
an eye.
100 in the 1200s,
Depends on your point of
1250s,
view.
1270s, whatever the fuck.
Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Where have you been anyway? What have you been doing?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand or move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower.
Wonder if they have
Once I
lifespans,
could
like,
at last stand
if they can
and
only
assist
live
I set off for
1,000 years
Bruges,
or whatever.
from my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural
I doubt it.
and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came
Oh
back.
man, we're talking about
Defeated the
ages
Wild
ago
Hunt
then.
together.
Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
Maybe there's something you want to ask me, something specific.
All right. Give you one question.
We just gave him like
What
4.
do you wanna
Come on,
know?
Geralt, be fair.
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
Well, it's all he knows. He's needed. This is interesting. Oh, I don't know. He knows it's a thankless job, but he knows he's needed. He knows that he can make a difference, you know? And, I mean, he gets a lot of sex. Who the fuck would want to be a peasant in these times? Fuck it, I'd be a witcher.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ah, that's the exact answer I
tried.
wanted.
See, you're determined to get an answer. To find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast.
It must be kinda cool.
Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave. and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
I wonder if vampires could get drunk. Maybe not on alcohol, anyway. Oh, I hate... They could have done the hoods better, couldn't they? Things just come right through it.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Appreciate the compliment.
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted wight. It haunts an abandoned
Well, we can't kill it if it's the only one, even if it is a monster.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted wight before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted wights. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught.
Interesting.
It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the wight survived, entirely unmolested.
Stop using that word. Tell me about the curse. That could have something to do with why it
Know
lived.
anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular.
Or maybe
really
it
don't
revived.
attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear.
You're a vampire.
What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct. And a curse. In one place. That a coincidence? Or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the wight's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Know anything else about it?
Wights rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted wight after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Okay.
A skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted wight is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
We've taken on a wight, so we know what they're like. I don't remember anything about spoons, but let's visit.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that wight. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the wight will simply sell you some?
Worst
Absolutely.
case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
I hope we can talk to it. That'd be
I
great.
imagined you asking the wight to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
I don't really want to kill the last
So,
of a
see you
species,
later.
but I guess it is a
Yes,
terrifying
till
monster.
later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
Understood.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
In which case, let's get out of here. But also, we're going to read the bestiary to learn about spotted wights. Now, I don't know what they'll count as, actually. Insectoids, absolutely. I guess necrophage? No, oh, they are necrophages, actually. Okay. Stay calm and leave them alone. Larger than their unspotted kin. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, no. So why do we not hunt these to death? Only the others? Colder months, or faced with an unreasonable chill, they'd slip into a state of lethargy. Interesting. It's found careful casting of the Earden sign, or at least so claims Witcher lore. Well, let's have a look at regular wights. Yes, they are like, you know, remember Draugr wights in Skyrim? They're basically living skeletons. Now let's go find its lair. Alright. My accident, I was stuck in Witcher senses there for some reason. Game's been doing some weird things lately. It seems like the expansions may be slightly more buggy than their, you know, full game sort of counterpart, which is totally understandable. I wouldn't really expect it to be as perfect, for lack of a better word. Why can I not sprint? What's going on? Now the game is being really freaking buggy. Come on, Roach. Roach refuses to sprint, apparently, so I guess I'll see you guys when we're there, because it's going to take fucking ages. Roach is now complaining about being scared when he literally won't run away from the thing that's scaring him. This is your fault, Roachy. Uh-oh.
Never a good omen.
Ooh, I've missed him, though. It's been so long since the first game. Since the first part of the first game, even. Targets have gotten a hell of a lot tougher than they used to be. And have totally different loot, too. Well, let's make our way up here and make sure we deal with the Barghest along the way. Don't want any additional issues facing us down the line, so it's a hunting cottage, huh? So I wonder what kind of curse would have befell a hunter. Yeah, that's creepy. Not a fan. Not a fan of that at all. Well, let's check this place out and see. Oh, did I just walk into some spoons? I did.
That the spoons are beating out some kind of rhythm. A message. Trying to tell me something.
Fucking Morse code or something. I'm gonna steal their spoons. What are you gonna do now, huh? Wight? I don't know. Well, it seems like there's only one thing to do, and that's to enter its lair. I would have thought we'd be able to figure it out a little more first. Maybe this is how we kept them at bay. Maybe we had to curse the final specimen or something. Or someone did.
None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall say to you, never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror.
Jesus.
Sounds like a curse, all right.
Poor thing. We're gonna turn around and see it right there, aren't we? Oh no, what's this? Written everywhere?
Somebody's clearly obsessed. Regis mentioned the place might be cursed.
Might be.
Can't be a coincidence. Need to look around.
Well, I don't want to kill it if we can potentially lift the curse.
What a pigsty. Need to search it thoroughly. Find a way to collect some white saliva. White's obsessed. A real collector. Thoroughbred.
Seems that way. What's this right here? More of them?
Pretty ordinary. Maybe a little old.
I'm gonna try and avoid walking into the spoons in case we alert it.
Spoon's incredible. Craftsmanship. Must have graced a rich man's table.
And in here?